Which do you like better, the Highlander movie or the TV show? I know there was more than one move, but still, I like the original Highlander movie. Yes, the TV show we used to go and watch the TV show at Mike's house every week. So there's certain parts about it that I really really liked. The spinoff, The Raven, was I've watched it, but I could never really get into it. The original second Highlander movie was just a disaster, you know, when they made them space aliens. And then they went back and recut it to where they're not space aliens anymore, but yeah, that was not announced from your joy. It was some other joy. No, it's fixed. I missed the Y at the end, okay? But the first movie I really really liked. I really liked it. Clancy Brown in it Clancy Brown did a really really good job in it. That was the same year that Buckaroo Banzai and the Eighth Dimension came out. So yeah, so those were my introductions to Clancy Brown, and they were definitely different from each other. So that was cool. It was so bad for the second. Yeah, the second one they really, I don't know what they were thinking, you know. But Gregory Wyden, who wrote it, has written some really good stuff. He wrote The Prophecy, which I liked really good with Christopher Walken. He wrote Backdraft. Um, yeah, but Highlander, the original movie Highlander, I believe was his final project in his final writing project in college. But I may be wrong on that. That may just be a myth, but I don't know. It'd be cool if it was. But all right, so our game. Where are we at with our game? Let's go to there and let's take the logo down. Oh, that's interesting. Game Maker did not come up. Come up. There you are. Okay, so he took his. Oh no, that's in the game itself. We actually run the game, then the cat has his hat because we let him keep his hat. Not that we let him keep the hat, but he keeps the hat in the as part of the save. Okay, let's go down here. I think this is, let's see, no, that's an old one. Oh, maybe in here. Yeah, that should be the right one. Okay. Okay, let's go back to here. Um, if I remember correctly, the cat should have kept his hat, but he did not. Or did he? Oh, it helps if I'm actually on the right screen. Let's see. It says part of the save. Yeah, see, so the cat has his hat on. Thanks again. Yep. So one of the things that we're going to have to do is we're going to have to start plugging in some of the stuff that we've talked about. I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. Yeah, but and start making all these parts. Oops. How did he get in there? Oh, there's a hole in our collision. I don't think we had a side door, but okay. Let's take a look. Oh, helps if you actually do it on the game and not the. Let's see. Oh, the hole. That's odd. Okay, why is that screen not matching my screen? It should be matching my screen. Oh, okay, because we need to turn this off. So somehow our Game Maker is saying that that guy has no collision anymore. But he should have. Weird. We'll just put it back. No, it must be underneath. Weird. Let's kind of draw it in where we think it is. Should be fine. It's got to be down there now. Okay. I couldn't get through The Raven. Yeah, it was a tough one. I did like Endgame. That one was interesting. Connor fought Duncan, yeah. But the very last movie, The Source, was I didn't even see the last one. That's how much they ruined my love of that series. You know. I didn't see it till after the TV. A friend of mine had the DVD. I got to binge the whole thing. Loved it. Yeah, the original movie I thought was really, really good. It was a basic movie for that time, the way movies were made at that time, and it fits that time period very, very well. And they did a really, really good job on it. It just didn't. The second one just ruined the series, the franchise almost. The hunger was consumed me. I will be back once evil spell fades off. Okay. Oh shoot, I missed dad jokes. Yeah. Well, we had an announcement put up. You got to be on the Discord so you see when the announcements come up because we do send out announcements for stuff. Okay, so here is my question to you guys in regards to what we've been working on here. Where do you guys want to go next with it? What is it? Because I realize that I've been just jumping ahead and just not including you guys in the discussion as to what we're doing. So please let me hear your thoughts on what we've been doing. My microphone is working, right? I hope so. Yes, it's working. Okay. I am, but I was reading something and it got interesting. And well, the last time I checked the clock, it was 10. Oh, wow. That must have been a really good read. Were you reading a book or something you can share, or is it work related stuff that you can't share? If it's work related stuff that you shouldn't share, please don't share. You want to work on making a sprite for the main character. Yes and no. I know that sounded terrible. I know that's something that I have to do, but I've been putting it off. Oh, and I just dropped my glasses. And I can't see to pick them up. Where did they go? I heard them fall. Sweeping the floor. Got it. Okay, found them. Put my fingerprints all over them when I did it, but found them. You know, the sprites are something that I was really like. It's going to take a very long time to do them, and it's not like something that we can do in an hour and a half. It's going to even do the basic walk step, which is I believe 4. Let's look at how many he used on his. I think it's only 4 Okay, let's go over here. Where is our workbench? Let's look at our sprite for sprites. That up a little bit so we can see. Player. Let's do S player. Let's look at it. Yeah, so it's only 4. Oh, this is just the turnaround. So the turnaround is only 4, which is just your 2 sides and your front backs. Let's look at the basic walk. Run carry, just I think it's actually a run. So that is 1, 2, 3. Let's see. There's on each side, I think it's 6 or 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 8 frames for the walk run in each direction. So yeah. And then we have the roll, which is I think is another 8 frames. So he rolls. Oh wait, no, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6. So that's 6 frames each direction. And then we have the lift, which is only 4, which is just him picking things up, which is just like a little half bend. Then carrying, which is just with him with his hands up. I mean, technically, yeah, we could. It's just because he's just going to be a boy animation. Then we have arrow, 2, 3, 4. So that's only 4 each direction. The back one is probably just, yeah, we just put the. Let's see, the attack slash, which is when he's just swinging, is this thing. Move this over a little bit. Okay, that is centered up. Okay. Yeah, because something like that, we can do something similar for the lion's roar attack. So yeah, so we can basically just make a list of. I should be actually making the list. So let me go back to here. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I want to turn this on here. This page. Now let's look at this real quick. I'm not trying to make a comment. Take the comment away. Thank you. Let's go here and we'll do another, since we can do them now, let's do, oh, not what I wanted to do. Templates, yes, we want a template. We want the, no, we don't want that. Why did it become such a problem? Last time we could just, okay, whatever. That's what we wanted. Okay, so what we can do, throw that down there. Go ahead and make it like that. Then we'll go. Take this headset off. It's pushing hair into my ear. Okay, when addressing, I took what you said yesterday about animating the art to heart instead of trying to do my full on character. I just did a multicolored stick figure. Yeah. A different color per body part. Maybe a run left and right animation. It looks good and should be simple to replace with real art since it's kind of a skeleton. Yeah, awesome. Because basically what I want to do here is I want to just rename this and take this grid. It is a grid, right? Why is it so darkly gray? Where's my header? Cell size, auto. Okay, that's what I'm missing. I just want white for right now. Oh, maybe a little gray. Okay. Gonna make that 24. And then where is my header? Oh, we'll just make it okay. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, we're going to go main directions. So this is like which directions he's facing. And what do we have? We have 4 of them. Up, down, left, right. Up, down, left, right. Okay, let's do I'll work on these. Let's center those. Make this a little bit bigger. That one. Come on, stop moving around. Okay, so we have the main direction, which was this one. Let me see if I can split the screen here real quick. Oh, that'll work. Put it up there. So we have this down here. Okay. Go back up here. Dang it. It's going to be one of those days. Okay, so here's our main direction, which is, let's see, right, up, down. Okay. Make this a little bit clearer since we're going to go the first. I want to make sure that we're putting them in order here. So it's right, up. Because if we put them in order, then we don't have to adjust left and facing. So right, up, left, facing. Okay. So we put them in the exact same order, then all of our animations, all the code that we've already used is correct. So we don't have to change out a lot of things. Okay, now this would be, what is this one? This is the player running. And what we'll do is can I do a, yeah, just copy it and put it over here and paste it. And put, that is a run. And then we're going to go So right foot down. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. Right foot down. Number 2 is right foot back. That doesn't look anything like a 2, does it? What has it done? I hate auto stuff like that. It becomes very annoying. So we will not even number it. Yes, I hear it. Let me move this up. So based on the animations we have, is we know that the first one would be right foot down, then right foot back, up in the air, left foot down. Okay, we'll have to put right foot down middle. And then it's kind of a rinse and repeat, but we'll wait till after the zombies. Yeah, basically you start with a drawing of your main character and then just make them, in all honesty. In the old days, when Disney used to do theirs, they used to use a very thin see-through parchment paper, and then you would flip it back and forth to see your character moving. And then they invented that whole parallaxing camera thing, which was really cool. But yeah, you got it. Okay, so basically all I'm doing right now is I'm writing down where his foot placements are for the animations, and what direction he's facing. So what we'll do is, like where it says run, we have the first one is his right foot's in the middle, his right foot's back, he's in the air, his left foot's down in front. So left foot down in front. And the reason I'm doing this is because we will know the order that matches the sprites that we are using. Therefore, we can it'll be very easy for us to recreate them and line them up when we get to the point where we can use them more. I want to do this. So this would now be left foot down middle. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Trying to keep everything on the screen. Not as easy as you think. Okay, so right foot middle, right foot back, in the air, left foot down front, left foot middle, left foot back. Okay, left foot back, and then see where are we at? We have 2 more, 3 more. Then up in the air, right foot front. Up in air, right foot front. And the reason it's good to make a sheet like this for that, because then you can just check them off as you're making them. So we should have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. And then what we'll do is we'll add another line and say, actually we'll put it up here, run, put it as a second, and then so we're going to have to do it for each direction. So if we do a run in each direction, run in each direction. Good. And it's the same pattern. So it's looking at the feet of the character. That's how we'll be setting up that. And if we do that, then all we have to do is just say what the first 8 are, because the rest of them in each direction, they're going to follow the exact same pattern. So it all works out. Now we know. Those are what we have to do. Okay, now we go to, what is this one? This is the roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. So there's 6 in each direction. You can see how this is a lot of animations. Now there's a lot of things you can do to make them quick, which is what I think that Riz said that he did, which is just, it's real quick throw together, and it worked. And that could be great. I think that was Riz, or was this? Oh no, it was VA Survivor. Maybe he'll put his little stick figure up on our Discord so you guys can see it. I think that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, so we'll have to go through, and right now I'm just making the map. And what's cool is once you've made this kind of a layout, you can use it on any of the stuff that you're working on. You can go, oh, if you say here's a character. So what we used to do at Blizzard, even for the characters in the 3D stuff, is the concept artist would draw up different ideas for the character. The art director would pick the one that they like for that character, and then that would be handed off to the modelers, who would then build the models, and then the modelers would hand it to the guys, the shaders, and they would like do all the materials for the outfits and stuff. At the same time, the model would be handled to the animators, who would rig it and do all that stuff, and then start doing setting up the animations for it. So it's usually something that's like takes a little bit of a team to do when it's 3D, but it also takes a team here. So I would say we would have somebody come up with, we go to the artist and go, who wants to come up with some concepts for what our main character looks like? And we'd have them go and make the main character, and come up with those. And then we'd all get together and look at them and vote on them. And those were always fun. I always enjoyed those. Okay, so it's a checklist of actions for the animators. Yes. I will link it in Discord. Yeah, I Yeah, I can dump it in. It's very rough. No, that's okay. Rough is good. Rough is all right. Post it in share link. Done. Yeah, let me take a look. I'm interested. I'm interested. Share link. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that makes it actually very easy to set up your animations for too. That's awesome. Very nicely done. Yeah, simple, simple, clean. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. I like the little animations there at the bottom. Very cutely done. What is this? Oh, all good. All right. Hmm. Okay. I haven't looked at Discord today, so it just something caught my eye. Good. Alrighty. Yeah. So yeah, this is just the what we're going to need from the animator once they start working on stuff. So the role is, and let's do this. 8 frames each direction. This one would be 6 frames each direction. So oh wow, that's not even English. So if we look in the animation, he's taking a knee in the first frame. The second frame, he's ducking his head. In the third frame, he starts the roll. Fourth frame, heels overhead. Heels over his head. Roll 2 back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then so then he just rolls to the almost standing up position. So those are six. God, I hate that thing coming up. So those are the 6 frames that we need for that. Sorry, let me put that up here. I rescaled the running dude and dumped him in Discord. If you want to have the no. I just wanted them to see. I think just adding what your block character looks like is good enough. You know, that's awesome. I, my impression was rigging is like the bones. Oh yeah, that's exactly what it is. So here, let me show you. See if I can pull. Let me find an example here. Okay, let's show some images. So what rigging does is you let me find something that's a good example so you can actually see. We'll use this one. Da, da, da. So you have your character basically. Let me pull that down for right now. So your modeler builds your character, right? Then he hands it off to the rigger, and the rigger goes and adds what you call bones to your character. And what it is it's connecting pieces that are the bones for your hand. They move the eyelids, they move your arms, so that when you move your arms, they don't go out of. Yes, you need a lot of rigor. Yes. So you're basically putting bones inside your character that your animator can then use to move your character so he moves correctly. You know, if it's rigged right, then like I said, here's like for the fingers. If you look on the fingers here, here is where the bones are, and then when the animator gets it, he can use the bones to do that. And what you do is you put weight on your bone for how much of the model it's going to actually move when you tighten those or move those bones within the system. Okay, so if you're animating, it's basically what you can use. You can also use it to change the faces. So if you look at each of these dots, each of them would be a bone or a contact point that the animator could use to manipulate the face into different shapes and stuff like that. Do people enjoy? Some people do. Some people really, really enjoy it. And if you do it right, it makes your animator's life so much easier. So it's really important, and it's also a huge skill set, without a doubt. I mean, you can't just walk in and rig. It's something that you go and you have to learn and stuff like that for a 3D project. So if we look at this one here, this is exactly what it is you have your character. Let me see if the picture is going to show the picture yet. So you have your character, and then this is the bones for that character. And this is what the animator moves in order to have your character move. Yeah, let me see if, and as far as, and I'll tell you this, and I've said this to a lot of people that have talked to me. Tangled is probably one of the best animated movies ever made. There's moments with the main character here that the animation just brought tears to my eyes because the animation was just so good. Well, this is when you're doing 3D. So this is for a 3D game. We wouldn't use this. Well, we could use a bone system for our animations in a 2D game, but it may be overkill. You know, another thing they do is they do have suits where they can have actors get in them and do a bunch of movements, and then the computer captures their movements and then can apply them. Yeah, it's mocap suits. It applies them to they can take this rig once it's done from this and apply it to a 3D model and have that 3D model move correctly. So here's how they did. This is how Andy Serkis was done for Lord of the Rings. He just got in a suit and got there and did it. And they also put a camera on his face for some of the facial expressions and stuff like that, because all that stuff's grabbable. But yeah, but rigging is a big deal, and you need a really good rigger if you want your animations to be great. But you can also go not so heavy and do it by hand But right now, all we're doing is some 2D stuff. So rigging isn't something that we would do. Not necessarily, but we'll see. Boop, boop. But as you can see, there's a lot of stuff. Facial rigging is a lot of fun. It's like picking all the things that will make your face move correctly. I did something similar for the eye roll, and I think I showed you guys that. Let me pull it back up. Is what I did was I made a null object, and then basically rigged the eyes to follow that object. Let's see if I can still find it here. Okay, let's see if we can pull that into here now. That would be After Effects. Is it the right one? It is not showing the right page. Come on. You can do it. There you are. Okay. So let me make this smaller. Oh, too small. I have to actually make this one smaller. That's the wrong one, of course, because you can never grab the right thing in this program. Okay, so here is our eyeballs for the eye roll. Let me move this in some. I think it's going to screw things up. Yep, it did. Of course it did. Why wouldn't it? So if you see this red box here, this red box I have rigged. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. I want this one, I think. Oh, that's the eyeball roll. Let me go to a part where this is actually open. So what I did was I added bones to the eyeball so that I could literally just grab this point here and move that eyeball around. So that's also a form of rigging. So we can do that. I also built one that would, let me see if I can find it here. This is that the right one? Nope. See, now I lost it. Okay. I also have one that does the shape of the eyes and stuff like that. So we can make a lot of changes to it. Turn these extras off. View extras off. Show rulers. No, I don't want to show the rulers. I want them off. Okay. Let's get a little bit closer so I can actually grab the right nulls. So what we're doing basically is just attaching a null to the object, and then we can manipulate the null and not trying to find the right null here. So I lost the eye turning roll, eye roll one. Let me reload it. But this is also rigging. We need to open the eyes. They are open. Okay, that's the one. That's the one we want. So yeah, so that's how you rig something. In this particular case, we used a null. You know, we did this. We went okay, eye roll, boo boo boo, and you can also use keyframes from it and stuff like that. But yeah, so this works really really well. Another thing is when you can build pre-comps of stuff, do the animation on that pre-comp and then just pull it into a scene. So we could take this as a pre-comp and bring it into a scene and attach it. So if we just take a character, we'll say, let me just grab some kind of character. It doesn't matter which one. We just need an image. Save image as. Okay, that's it. We can bring an image in here. Import image. Back to downloads. Just want this. So we'll take her and drop her face in here somewhere. Let's drop it at the bottom for now. And we can take that, reshape the eyes to the shape of her head. We'll go, okay. Grabbing it's never good. But we could, oh, geez. Nope, gotta grab the right one. Where's my shaper one? Sorry, I did not prepare to use this in this way, but you get the basic idea. That's the pupil, so we don't need that one. I think this is the master one I needed. Yeah. So we can reshape it to her eyes. You can basically see the basics. And then we can say, okay, we can take this master and make her the parent, or that image the parent of this master. So if we go, okay, master, we'll make that the parent of this her. Now, anywhere where we move her, the eyes will stay with her. So, but we still have all the controls to where we can have her looking around as well. So we go back up here. I think it's this one. We can take that and still make her look in different directions and have it look somewhat real. I would obviously resize the eyes to fit her actual face, but you can see where building that rig makes it a lot easier for us to animate them later. Yes, this is the exact thing that I made that our animated eye roll emote with. See, watch. Whoop. So if I kill all that and just go to her and I run this animation, she'll roll her eyes. You know, she looks around, and then in there somewhere is an eye roll. But here's the original eyes where I was doing it by hand, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna do it the other way. You know, so but this was my comp where I built the eye roll. But you see, even though it's not sized correctly and it's not shaped to her eyes, you can still see that there's some value there. Because I move things around, the eye roll isn't happening. So let me back off some of these animations that I changed. Come on. I may have screwed it up before I brought her in. But also there's another one that does the blink as well. So I was mocapped in the 80s when I was a kid prior to orthopedic surgery. Oh, cool. Is that how you made our animated eye roll? Yes, it is. Because that's how I've made all of this stuff. Because all this stuff is, if you make the separate pieces, then you can do anything with them. You know, so making the eye roll this way means that we can go back now and using the animation stuff, do all kinds of stuff with it. Because it's always going to be rigged correctly. I'm trying to get back to where it actually rolls her eyes because it looks like I messed it up. I messed up my animation. That happens. You do that. Back to that. Oh my God, you touched it. Oh, let me do this. Let's go. Eye whites. That's the whites. This is the pupils. Basically what I did was when I moved this, it screwed it up. So let's go position. I think I screwed it up with that position there. That one should still be up here. So there. Now she should, if I see how close I am here. Move this over here. Now she should roll her eyes. Yep. So there's your eye roll. So in animation, you would take the rigging of her head and give it like just a little bit of motion on the rigging of her head, you know, and then attach her to it. So, but that's how I did our eye roll. And there's a lot of pieces in there that you may not even realize are there. So if we go to when, let me get, we'll say there is every single piece is in there. So we have our, we'll kill the nulls so we don't see those. But there's the right pupil or left pupil, her left pupil, our right side. Then we can go, okay, there's her iris. And all these things are attached to different controllers. Because your pupils and your eye whites are different things. So you have your eye whites, and then these are the actual parts of the eye. So boop, put those in. And this was just a real quick one. So this was a just throw together, And then if we look at, let me see if I have it in here or if it's in, it might be another one. Is the Vikings running one? Even though I'm going to go back and redo it because I'm not happy with it. But if we look at, where did I put it? I think it's this one. We won't save her, but here's our Vikings. And they're jumping up and down, and each of them has a null that they're attached to. And it's the null that's jumping up and down, not the Viking itself. And then the Vikings just follow that null. You attach them to different nulls, and then they can jump up and down and do their thing. Let me see if I have the, here's the shield. It doesn't have a null, but it just has a spin on it. Here is them running past. That's one I was working on that I never finished. And here's our stop sign. For when things go bad. Our boat, which we haven't used yet, but we'll put in at some point. But here's the Vikings running towards us. So what I did was, if you see, you can't see it on that screen, but if we look at all the layers, all of these layers are attached to something, and those layers are what bring it in. So in this particular case, in After Effects, these are put into 3D space, and then they're attached to a null that is moving back and forth in 3D space. So that gives the impression. So you don't have to scale them. You can, this is their null that they're attached to, and we're animating this null. We're not actually animating them. So we have one null that is doing the bounce, and then we have another null that's moving on the X between forward and backwards. So what we can do is, and this is what I want to go back and do, is I want to do some changes to it to where we're putting more in there, because as we change where they're going, they'll go in different directions. So we can have more coming in, or we can double them, or do all that kind of thing. So there's just more of them. So like if we put him back where he was, then he'll come off to the side there as opposed to straight on like we did. But we don't have to move him. All we have to do is go back to the first frame, or go to where we can see the null, and then we just need to move the null around. That stop feels like you just hit the do. Too funny. So yeah, so that's just them all running in now. But each of them is on their own. If we looked at it from, okay, let's see. I don't want to get into so much that you guys don't comprehend what I'm talking about, because it gets, when you start getting into 3D space with computers, it's kind of chippy. So if we look at this from the top, right? Here is our light on our characters, because I built this as a 3D After Effects file. If we hit go, you can't see anything on this. That's right, because they're all, but if we scroll through, those are all of our characters moving through the camera, towards the camera, and all that. So our camera is still. Our Vikings are still, but they're attached to a null. And as we move this null, this big triangle thing, or this big triangle thing, that's our camera. So as we move that null closer to the camera, it brings our Vikings closer to the camera. And you can set up that animation that way. You can do that with all kinds of things. If we look at let's see, where's it at? If we look at, what did I do with it? Thumbnails, no. That's the eye roll we just looked at. I think this is the one I'm looking for. Is it? No, it is not. Oh no, this was the other thing. That is not what we're looking for. But you get the general idea of how rigging works. And you don't have to only rig bones. You can rig items, things like that. You can make separate comps of things and then bring those comps into your thing so they do their loop all the time. There was a thing that I finished the other day that we'll see eventually on our pop-ups that does that. And then after we see that the first time, then I can show you guys how I put it all together and how it's actually really how to do minimal amounts of work but gets you the best stuff. So I hope that wasn't too out there for you guys, because I know I have a tendency to just go, oh, you just do this, this, and this, and then boom. So yeah, so the emotes are fun because you can do real quick animations with After Effects on them and stuff like that. This was something because what I built a thing a while back. I built a banner making system. So if we go new, let's start with a new project. I built a banner making system years ago, but the problem with it now is I think that After Effects changed how they do their coordinate system. So if we go and I say, okay, run a script, and the script we want to run is, where to go? Actually, I probably should have been in the top one there. Script run. Where is my banner script? Nope, these are all standard ones. Okay, it would have to be in here. You go back to C, programs, Adobe's, Creative Cloud. Nope, nope, nope. Let's see if I just put it here. Did I just put it here? No, I didn't. I don't think I made one here. No, so it's not working. But basically, my theory was this: if I had a background image, a foreground image, and the text, that I should be able to have After Effects build all of my banners for different things, like PlayStation, web, the banners you see at the top of the thing. So I wrote a script that does it, but I'm trying to fix it because it's not working, because I think that when I wrote it, it was like 8 years ago, and I think that they changed their scripting system since then, and for some reason it's just not coming together. But what it did was it would go in and build all of the banners that you need for stuff. But like I said, if we look at the side here, if you guys can see the side, I don't know if you can. No, you can't. Okay, let me pull this over here. So what this is every one of these is a banner for the Dreadnought project. But for some reason, it's not letting me. Is there a window up I'm not seeing? Nope. Yeah, so for some reason, my script crashes it. But if you look, all these have different sizes on them, and they were all the different size banners for PC. So you had your tall banners for the side, the top banners, then it also would build the PS4 banners and the PS4 SIEs, and then, but it would also have all the main comps. But like I said, for some reason, it in the new After Effects, it doesn't work. So we're killing that now, and we're going to something else. Cool. Wait a minute. So I made 3D Fire Effects where I attached an empty to shaders to create an animation. It was moving fire. You're telling me that, yeah, that's basic rigging, yeah. Have we seen, no, we have not seen the hype train yet. It's ready, it's ready to go. It's I finished it on Sunday, but we haven't had a hype train, so we haven't seen the hype train animation yet. That's the one that I was talking about. So because we haven't seen it, I wasn't going to show you how I did it. So but that's for animate, but you can use animating for anything. Even by using the nulls in After Effects, we could probably do, once we make a picture of our character, we could probably use After Effects to do all the animations, which actually would be really cool because we would create like the piece of art that they showed in Discord a second ago. You could take that, and each of those colors could be attached to a null that all it does is just animate it doing its thing. And then you can do a lot of things with them, and you can try a lot of different things with them. No, we have not. I already answered that. No. So yeah, but I want to go back, and as far as the Viking attacks and stuff like that for raids, I want to go back and redo those animations because I'm not 100% happy with them, and I want to be able to add a few more things to it. There are also libraries for animation in code if you inclined in that direction. Yeah, you can. There are. I still do it by hand because that's the way I was taught, and I don't go looking for things that plugins or stuff like that. So yeah, you can do that in Unreal and those. They actually have stock animation rigs that you can put in your characters and use and stuff like that. Yeah, facial rigging, all rigging has come a long way. You got to remember when we first started, they didn't even have anything, and then they came out with this program called Bones, and you would set different weights and stuff, and it would glitch all the time, but it was at least something, for doing facial movement and stuff like that. But there was nothing way back in the beginning, nothing at all. No, I'm talking about Tangled the movie, not Tangled the game. Tangled the movie, the animation in Tangled the movie is absolutely amazing, especially of the main character. She is just when they're sitting on the log by the fire in that scene, that animation is just absolutely gorgeous. No, but yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going back through questions because I was talking and I missed them all. Do people enjoy rigging? Yes, they do. No, this is not why games take so long. These kind of tools and stuff like this is why games take so little time. If you didn't have these tools, then making a game would take you absolutely forever because you'd have to hand animate all of that stuff, and that's not for the weak-hearted, shall we say. But yeah, we can start working on the animations and stuff like that. I was just trying to, in all honesty, I was trying to avoid them, but not because I don't like doing them. It's just because they take so long, and doing them at an hour burst or an hour and a half burst on the show is not it's not gonna show the progress I'd like to be able to show, you know. Mm. These are the shortcuts. Let's see what's down here. Just one episode of Demon Slayer. You'll understand. Okay, I'll take a look. I'm talking what I was talking about is just the animation was so well done in Tangled that it was beyond what Disney usually does. I just thought it'd be cool to see our main character fleshed out. Yeah, it will be. Yeah. But even with the main character, we have to, and maybe with something we should talk about for the next half hour here. Can we flesh the main character out without knowing what world he lives in? Yeah, because if we just draw a simple boy and we decide that the world is X, and the boy doesn't work in that environment, then we have to redo the boy. Yeah, Cuphead was just like, boop, done. All those animations were, yeah. And what's funny is they were able to do Cuphead and make it look like it was old time done. And I thought they did a good job on it. What's the hardest job in game dev? The hardest job in game dev is herding cats. What I mean by that is this. The hardest job has changed over the years. The hardest job back in the beginning was skill, role, etc. Hardest job in game dev, skill and role. I think the thing that people struggle with most in game dev is communication. When your team is very small, when I mean small, I mean 12 to 24 people. The lines of communication can be really good. Once you start getting bigger than that, communication falls apart really, really fast. And the frustration of working on something for weeks just to find out that it was changed a week and a half ago and you were never told is probably the hardest job in game development. It's sadly something that happens a lot, and it is all a communication problem, every single bit of it. And that's because I know myself as well as other artists who have worked on things, or even programmers who have worked really, really hard on things for weeks just to find out that it was changed literally anywhere from a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, and nobody ever told you. Yet you're still working hard on it and trying to make it work. That becomes very, very frustrating. And mostly it's because not everybody in the company got the same piece of information. And I've actually been in situations where I've been in meetings where I've heard some leadership give orders to a department of what they wanted, and then the next day give the complete opposite orders to another department and that's two different orders to two departments that cannot succeed without each other. So if they have two different sets of orders, it's going to be really, really impossible for them to get things done right. And that sucks. And zombie. Yeah. Yes, it's a huge waste of time and money, but it happens every day in development. The bigger your company is. The reason we were able to be so nimble in the beginning when we first came up with the games that we've played so far was because at any given time, there wasn't more than 12 of us, 15 of us. Even when Warcraft came out, the first one, I think we were only 24 people. So we were still able to get a lot of things done very, very quickly. And everybody had the same information. That's not a skill issue in game dev. Yes, it is. And here's why. The skill of your management, the skill of your production people, the skill of your producers is just as important as the person drawing the artwork or writing the code. That's why everybody's in the credits, because they're all responsible for making sure that your game is right. Yeah. If your team, if everybody on your who's working on your project is not following the same North Star, you're destined to fail. Also, if you have management that can't make a decision or just flat out changes the direction every 6 weeks, you're just going to spin your wheels for years and years and years. And there's many examples of that happening. Many examples out there of just, we were close to having something done and then management came and changed the whole thing. Or you have a manager that is completely disconnected, helicopters in, wipes everything out that you've been working on for weeks, and then goes away. And you're just like, well, why didn't they tell me that this isn't what was wanted before? Because nobody knew, because that manager just decided one day to change everything. And that happens a lot. And it's absolutely exhausting for people in the company and the people that are doing the work, the people on the floor, shall we say. Herding cats, yes. I have been management for years. Herding cats makes perfect sense. Yeah, that's what I always called it. You're herding cats. I can't explain it, but but it fits perfect. You don't have to explain it. It is what it is. And that's what I always called it. But the problem is we do not. One of the problems is management needs to stay connected to the project and to the people working on the floor. And if they don't, that's going to be a problem. Middle management has to be able to keep upper management informed, as well as keep the talent informed at all times. They need to be able to keep everybody informed at all times. And if they don't, then that is the skill set that I think is the most important. I think the next hardest thing in a team, and I've talked about this before, is, you need tools programmers. You need guys that are talking to artists, talking to programmers and all that stuff, and coming up with better tools for your artists and your programmers so that they can do things quickly, they can test things quickly, all that kind of stuff. The problem with most companies, though, is they hire a really good tools programmer and then he gets sucked into actually programming on the game itself. I agree. Communication is key. It spans across all industries. I've managed teams. Sorry, things are. I need to see about making this bigger somehow so I can actually read it. It's very tiny. Oh, good. The text doesn't get any bigger. If you aren't communicating efficiently or management is too disconnected, you're destined for disaster every single time. Yes. Well, to a parent, he writes, I think this is where MBAs mess up game dev studios. You can remove yourself from workers in other forms of business. Yeah. I mean, the whole MBA thing is great. There is a place for them. However, I think that they need to step back from the MBA sometimes and say, okay, how do I apply my MBA properly to this industry? And how do I make myself beneficial to them? And most of them just go, I have an MBA, we're doing it this way, done. And they don't take that the creative part into their way of doing things. Because, like I said, you're herding cats. When you're herding cats, they're going to be all over the place. An artist will be all over the place. A programmer will be all over the place, you know. And the business side, and it's difficult for them. I have no doubt about that. But the business side can cause a lot of issues on the floor. If for what are their biggest challenges as small teams? The biggest challenges for small teams is finding the right people. You know, hiring is probably the biggest issue when it comes to small teams, because you have to have people that can do more than one thing and that are able to jump in wherever needed, because you have to have a certain amount of I can do everything. And I don't mean that in a egotistical bullshit way. I mean that is, okay, today I'm drawing sprites for a rolling rock. Tomorrow I'm doing layouts on backgrounds for a map. The next day I'm taking art that other people have made and converting it and making it for other things, you know, for making it better or color correcting it or doing any things like that. You know, tomorrow I'm designing levels for a 4 new levels for a Sega version of the game, that so that the Sega has extra things that are special. You know, you're always doing those kind of things. You're always jumping in where needed, not necessarily only for your skill set. You know, because I always joke that you should, if you know more than one thing, you won't be laid off. You know, if you do more than one thing for the company, you won't be laid off because your value increases. And what the reason I say that is, when I was originally hired at Blizzard, I was hired for a 5-week contract. Only 5 weeks. I was hired for Silicon Synapse for 5 weeks to come in and make the cars, build the cars for rock and roll racing. I was there for 23 years because every single time I got in a position where something else needed to be done that wasn't my skill set, I jumped in and did it. You know, every single time I saw something that was cool and decided, you know what, we really need this, we should do this, I jumped in and did it. You know, so I increased my value to the company. You know, but that's how everyone in a 12-man team works. Everyone jumps in, everybody does that. Yes, multi-skilled people are extremely valuable. You know, so if you're ever in an interview and they say, what else can you do? Have answers ready. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect answers. You can say, you know what? I play with this every now and then. I do this when I want to. You know, I try this out. Senior K, thank you very much for the follow. Senior K, welcome to the group. In addressing me, okay, got that. That's me actually writing to me. I have a degree in art and a professional programmer. Cool. I have a degree in art too. But can you rig, animate, and write stories? Yes. I know you wrote that to a parent, but it seems like he can. It seems like he's learning. Yeah. Because that's all it is. If you look at something that someone else did and you say to yourself, how did they do that? Go and find out. You know, and once you know how to do that, make sure that the people around you know you can, so that you can help out when things get in a rush. Because there's lots of times when artwork will be, the design work will be done. It'll be in the modeling thing. And if you're a concept artist that doesn't have anything on your plate today, You could help build the models for the concept art that you wrote, that you drew, or you could do the texture maps or the shaders for some of the things on the things. Why the sigh? Huh. A parent? What's up? Everyone has a degree in art. No, they don't. They give them out just like, wow, that's just mean. Sparta, there are people, and myself included, who worked very hard for our degrees in art and made some really good pieces of art for them that I don't think other people at the time could have done. So I think that your everybody has a degree in art comment is actually kind of rude and takes away the value of the artist. Can you paint? Yes, I can. I can oil paint. I can acrylic paint. I can water paint, watercolor paint. Do I have any art we can see? Not here, no. It's all in storage in California because I didn't take any of it to the UK. I'm sure there's stuff in, oh, maybe Facebook. I don't know. It might be an old painting in Facebook or two, but see if I can look and see real quick. I don't oil paint that often, but my mom was a huge oil painter too. So I'm trying to find where. No, I'm not seeing it. Okay, so yeah, in the past I've done a few oil paintings. Yeah, so yeah, multi-skilled is great, but taking anybody, minimizing anybody's skill set is just, it's not cool. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I can do anything, everything as well, but it's specialized in writing, storytelling, and level laying. Sure, I can code too, but at the time it will take me to yep. I turn performance on I tune performance on supercomputing by day and make games by night. Cool. People have a massive capacity to learn new things every single day. One time a guy I knew who worked in a law office made fun of my broadcasting degree. And then he needed a piece of paper to figure out the tip on a $20 tab. So whatever. Yeah, you know, every single human you will ever meet has flaws. All of us. Doesn't matter who. Are you going to be the person that lifts them up, or are you going to be the person that puts them down? If you lift them up, you will have backing from them for the rest of your life. If you put them down, they're going to disappear and you don't know what you've lost. So be careful. You know, I had friends back in the day who, and even my mom at the time, when I got my job at Silicon and Synapse, they said, "Oh, that's great, but when are you going to get a real job?" So I dealt with that quite a bit. All from my friends as well. And my argument to them was this: is number one, do you like your job? To which to the letter, every single one of them goes, "No, I don't like my job." I go, "I do. I get up in the morning every single morning and I want to go to work. There is not a single morning that I will get up that I say to myself, I have to go to work. No, I want to go to work. I want to do what I'm doing, and they hated their jobs. They were miserable at their jobs. But because my job wasn't oh my God, that's the job that everybody should grow up and do, they cut me down for it quite regularly. And I'm just like, you know what? Screw you guys. You guys hate your job. You go in every morning miserable. I go in and I'm enjoying every single minute of my day, and they're paying me for it. And in some cases, more than you, meaning my friends, of course, at the time. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Be careful who you kick on the way up, because they're the ones you're going to run into on the way down. Yeah. Yeah, that's what happens. I'm reading a parent's thing. My dad only stopped talking down on my job until I joined the same company he did and had a bigger impact. Yeah. The thing I used to get all the time is, you just play with computers. Drove me up the wall. Yeah. Well, the real job thing used to just really bug me, but it was only for like, I don't know. I guess the first 4 years, 4 or 5 years. You took the comment to heart. My point is, the old say, a jack of all trades is a master of none. I think that used to be the case. I don't think that's the case anymore. Everybody can have a single strength that they're absolutely awesome at, but adding other skill sets to that with that single strength is a good thing. It's not in the old days, the jack of all trades comment was about people that overextended themselves. We work with computers now, and we make games, and knowing not just what you make, but what you make, what happens to the stuff you make and where it goes after you've made it, and learning the skill sets around those is a good thing. I think it's actually adding to you, not taking away from you. Yeah. But because I've always been a big proponent of turning to the guy next to you and say, hey, what do you do? Show me. Show me how you do it. They told me at the time, that is not the saying. No, his saying is correct, because that was the saying at the time. I think it's probably a saying that has fallen off, but Sparta does have the correct saying. I specifically am paid because I am master of jack of all trades skill sets. Don't need to be master to do a good job, methinks. No, you don't. But you need to have at least the base knowledge of the work that you're doing. Let them criticize. He says, I've been criticized for being a jack of all trades. Let them criticize. You're still employed and you're still getting paid. So, okay. Well, I've never heard the add-on to that, but I like the add-on. Believe. I've never heard the second part of that saying. I've only heard the first part, because that's the one that was always thrown up in our face. Oh, Rare Devil, thank you very much for the sub. Let me see what it was. It was sub for 3 months. Thank you very much, Rare Devil. You can pull your boots up, but you can't pull yourself up. But cool. No, I mean, because when I first started, all I did was 3D art. I would model, build stuff, put it out there. But then I learned how to do sprites. I learned how to do, I kept learning the skill sets of all the people around me, and it, it worked out very, very well for me in the long run. While I watched other people that only did one thing and one thing only disappear, and this is from every company I've ever been at. So having more than one skill set, I honestly believe, in my opinion, that it's a good thing, and it just makes you a more rounded person in your position. Because if you know how your work is going to be used by other people, you can make artwork that works better for those other people. And you get situations where they're just like, hey, they actually did a really good job on this, and I don't have to do 1,000 things for it. And it is similar to pull yourself up again. Yes, Blaze is correct. This is what I was just trying to say, and I said it poorly, but I'm going to read what Blaze wrote. Knowing what the next guy does and how he uses your work will always help you deliver better work. That is 100% correct. Yes, know your audience and purpose. I have a special purpose. Sorry. Every time I hear that word, I think of that joke. Oh, wow. I just looked down. We were talking about Highlander earlier. I just looked down, and there's a picture of Christopher Lambert on my computer. Nice. Thank you, Devil King, for knowing what that's from. Knowledge and the ability to optimally do something are two different things. Always go for the maximum amount of knowledge you can get. Yeah, on any subject. It doesn't matter the subject. You should always be curious. Curiosity is going to help you every time. He's after the cans. Everyone stay away from the cans. Oh, yeah. Too funny. Oh, God. There's so many moments in that movie. One of the best opening lines, either. I was born a poor black child. God, that always cracked me up. Zombie. Be right back. Brains. Well, that came out of nowhere. Last of Us. Funny. Let's see. Thank you very much. Yeah. For some reason, every now and then, I just get a sneeze out of nowhere that just goes, hey, sneeze. Sneeze for me. Tell me how it works. Where are we at? Okay. Sorry, we got off on a way tangent, but yeah, all these things are things that you're going to need and things you're going to need to know. And it's not oh, you're bad for not knowing them. It's just like, be curious and learn them. Learn the things you don't know. No, there's no dust in this house. Trust me. They've got HEPA filters all over the place doing all kinds of things. So, okay. So, yeah. So we did not finish working on our lists. But I will. This weekend, I'm going to have to make a pretty heavy list of stuff, and we will start. Why don't we do this? Well, next weekend or next week, we will start working on. Well, like I said, it's hard for me to start saying let's do a main character when we don't know what world we want to actually make the game in. So some of the ideas that I was thinking about was, because we have a mine, it doesn't have to be a coal mine. It could be any kind of mine. That we could mine kryptonite. Who knows? But it changes what our character will look like, where we're at, whether we're in in China, whether we're in Japan, whether we're in Korea, whether we're in Europe, whether we're in Germany, whether we're in whatever, whether we're on another planet. What is our character going to look like based on the surroundings and the people that live in that area? I probably should put one together. I think that coming up with a poll, we could. I guess we should actually. We're to the point now to where if we don't know what world it is, and it's going to change a lot of things. So let's do this. Let's go. Let's have everybody make suggestions for what world we should be doing. You guys all know the basic structure of what we put together. You know kind of what we need from a standpoint of this. But what are your guys' ideas? Well, we can do a bit of a Viking thing without a doubt because it's kind of our main role here. But once we figure this out, there's research is going to have to be done. So you don't just go, okay, it's Viking. We have to go and research and figure out how, number one, how a 10-year-old boy would interact with other Vikings, of different races and creeds and stuff like that. Norse mythology is a really good book, by the way. I think it's written by Gaiman, isn't it? I believe it's written by Gaiman. Yeah. Yeah. But House took a look at Vikings. Yes, the book is really, really good. We can do a poll, but we should get suggestions as to the different worlds that we can talk about, or that you guys want to do things. But to someone's point is we do kind of have a Viking feel to everything right now, but it doesn't mean it has to stay in a Viking world. But if we make that decision, then we know how he dresses, we know what he looks like, all those kind of things. It has my Scandinavian approval. Okay. Well, we did have that in there, but we right now we just have the clinic in there. We haven't actually we didn't say what he taught in his gymnasium or whatever it was. In the first iteration, there was a dojo, but it was because we didn't know what he was doing. In fact, in this iteration, in when we go back to where the house is now, he's not. The dojo isn't there anymore. Doesn't mean that we can't revive it and actually make it into something, but it is. It's no longer there. Oops. So right now we just have Granddad's house, which is still a shop, and then the clinic. So we didn't put the dojo in simply because it was just like, okay, yeah, because a dojo can be any culture as well. So it doesn't matter if he's teaching that or yoga or mystic prayers or whatever. You know, it could be any number of things. So let's see if we can do. Let me try something real quick. Let me see if this actually works here. Mm-hmm. Oh, I hate when it does that. Yeah, maybe tomorrow I'll put together quite a few uh, polls that we can do. Steampunk Norseland. uh, that's funny. Yes, we're kind of doing that. Yeah. Yeah, steampunk Northland would be interesting because we could build a whole bunch of just really bizarre stuff from an art standpoint. But yeah, the artwork for a steampunk Northland would be very interesting. It also can lead to a lot of mechanical puzzles in the mines and stuff like that. Interesting. And I don't think anybody's ever done it. At least not that I can remember. Yes, what's on screen now is a current work in progress. It's just as replacing art so that we had something in there. No, it's very good. It does have there. It does lead to a lot of possibilities, without a doubt. Hmm. I'm picking up some of these things you guys are writing down here real quick, making sure I get them. Hmm. A steam-powered flying Viking ship. which means we would need towers for docking stations. And you a sauna, sauna room for the exhausting steam. That's funny. Those are called expansion sets. Savvy Otter. Okay. Hello, Wonky Circle. DLC. Yep. Well, that just it is. We can actually switch it to where we have 9 levels, and we have 9 expansion sets, one based on each of the Norse worlds. That kind of thing would be kind of cool. Well, we'd artify that up quite a bit. Yeah, the 9 realms. Yeah, gives a whole bunch of story possibilities too, and a lot of research. But interesting. Yeah, interesting idea. Viking mecha warriors instead of wooden longships. Vikings pilot massive ruin powered mechs into battle against mystic beasts and rival clans. God, what was the old one in Mech Warrior? It was the Youngbloods or something like that. God, I'm trying to remember what the family name was back then in those old stories. And you have a great tree. You could also implement. Yes, I can. We would redraw it, but yeah. Viking Horror Survival, a survival horror game set in the icy north. Stuck on any coding? Nope, not at the moment. We haven't done any coding for a while. It was just because we've just been using the stuff that's in the tutorial now, so we have everything we need at the moment. But thank you very much for asking. Yeah, but wouldn't Loki? Isn't Loki a frost giant or related to the frost giants, or did he get stolen from the frost giants? I seem to remember something about that. Yeah, but that whole mythology world's a very rich world, and adding steampunk on top of it could be quite interesting. Hmm. Okay. Oh, it's raining. Hmm. Well, if we do something like that, Wonky Circle, thank you very much for the sub. That is awesome. Very much appreciated. Oh, he gifted a sub to Sparta. Oh, very nice. Nicely done. I didn't know Sparta didn't have a sub. Did something? Oh, okay. His father was a giant furbot, and his mother was a Atlantis lily. Okay. See, because that could be interesting. Because I also would like to. I think it's in that one. Is I'd like to explore Medusa's history too, because everybody always puts Medusa off as this horrible beast, blah 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 blah. But what made her Medusa? What made her into Medusa was a horrid story. It was not a good story at all. She just kind of fucked her over. If I remember correctly, Zeus seduced her, and then Hera got mad, and then because she was gorgeous, and then turned her into Medusa. But I may have my yeah. Medusa was a victim. That is true. Oh, does it have this? Okay, I did not know that. Thank you, apparent. I did not know that. I thought she very vain. I don't. I like I said. I think I just remember the crux of the story, and that she. I think it was Zeus. I think she had an affair with Zeus, and then someone got mad, and then took it out on her and made her the ugliest thing, and so that no man would ever look at her again, and blah 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 blah. It's funny as we're thinking about this. I'm thinking about the old game, the old Disney game Hercules, and then the girl that would walk around and go, "I predict pizzas. I predict safes," and then they would fall from the skies. Okay, maybe it was Poseidon. It was one. It was one of the Hagas up there. Yeah, the Hercules game was very fun. My dad's a god. Yeah, too funny. Okay, what? Wow, we're over time. Okay. There's multiple versions of story where she is the victim or the villain. Well, look, I think that I'm gonna break out because I have mythology, Norse mythology by Gaiman, and I think I'll break that out and see if whatever. I think I'm of the mind to use that as our go-to for if we're gonna go that way. We haven't made that decision yet, but if we're gonna go that way, I think that's kind of where we're gonna go. I started the Iliad audiobook. Oh, that's cool. Fascinating how tightly integrated the gods were in daily life. Yeah, they were a pain in the ass. Hercules, Hercules. Hey, Agramaw. Perseus. I also think that Norse mythology, they had a lot of named weapons. Yes, they did. They could be used as used an update. Yeah. It also we can do the thing where if we're going to the ancestors, instead of the things that we have, they could give you named weapons, which could be kind of interesting. Yeah, a lot of potential in the theme, but like I said, we're not locked into it yet. However, we are at almost 45 minutes here, and so we have to start doing our raid thing. And I want to show you guys the new thing we're going to do for raids. We're still going to vote, don't worry, and all that stuff, but we're gonna close this out now. And let's see, turn the game off, turn that off, turned our logos back on. Hello, logos. You know, say goodbye. And we're just going back to us just for a minute.